All right, how's that for timing, huh? I love it when the songs end just at the right time. All right, is this it? We're missing one. Okay. See if she shows up in a moment. Otherwise, good morning, everybody. Today we continue factoring attack. You should already have the worksheet. It's the same worksheet from Monday that we'll be working on. So why don't we go ahead and just go over those answers real quick. I'm going to increase my brightness here. Go over the answers from Monday, and then the rest of the day, you will just be practicing factoring, because your goal is to become factor masters. In fact, I was thinking about this earlier. When my younger brother had to take calculus class in college, he asked me for some advice. And the thing I came up with, the best piece of advice I could tell him was, when in doubt, factor it out. Because every time I ran into trouble in my calculus class, the issue was you had to factor the thing first in order to make the function easier to work with. I've said before, like the two major skills for calculus is just a basic understanding of those calculus concepts and mastery of algebra. And those two things will be enough to carry you through the whole course. And probably half of that algebra component is factoring. Hey, there she is, just in time. All right, so without further ado, go ahead and check your work from Monday's exercises 1 through 9 there on screen. And let me know what you have questions on. I know some of these were significantly more difficult than others. Any that you would like me to go over in detail? No? No? I would say 1, 2, and 3, pretty straightforward. 4 can be a little tricky just because not everybody sees every version. You can treat this as a difference of squares. And then what's left over is also still factorable, so make sure you get both instances there. This one, not too bad, straightforward GCF. This one, not too terrible. Factor out that 2. Well, that's not bad. That 7, also treat as difference of squares. It's just with really big numbers. Request for number 9? All right. Yeah, 9 is kind of like 4 in that there's secretly more that you can really do there that you might not otherwise see right away. So first of all, each term, c to the 4th, 3rd, squared, 1. You can definitely factor out a c right off the bat. So GCF that out, and you'll be left with c cubed plus c squared minus c minus 1. All right? And now it doesn't look a whole lot better. But do bear in mind, I have how many terms here? 1, 2, 3, 4. So a great approach to this would be group by, or factor by grouping. I spoiled it. Treat these as 2 separate groups. So keep that c out in front. And then from here, we can factor out the c squared, so I'm just going to use big brackets here, c squared times c minus 1. And then from here, what do I have? I have minus c minus 1. So if I leave that as this whole thing, you could factor out the negative 1, and then it would be a c plus 1. You could do something like that. And now we're looking at, oh, but these signs don't match. See, if those signs match, then we could just pull those out and be, I'd factor out the c minus 1. So I think if we left that in, what would we be left with? We want this to be c minus 1. We've got to, did they screw up the signs here? Because you can't just switch that to positive. We've got to have a negative there. And then you don't get c, oh, because it's not c squared plus 1, sorry. This guy here is not c squared plus 1. It is c plus 1 squared. Right, so distribute that, you're looking at c squared plus 2c plus 1. That's what that comes out of. So if we can find that in here, then we can get I'll be honest with you, I think the book might have been wrong on here. I don't see a good path forward to this answer. Because we have no way of getting that 2 there. Yep. All right, let's see what we do end up with. If I pull that out of there, yeah, I think that's as far as you can go. You can pull the single c out because of the signs. So really, this would be our furthest answer here. I'll investigate that more as you work, but for now I'm going to say this should be the better answer. Textbook, why did you lead me astray? All right, sorry about that. This is the trouble with negative signs, right? They screw everything up. Okay. Any other questions from here? No? All right, then for today, you're just going to practice until you can't get it wrong. Skip the second page. That's on dividing polynomials. We'll come back to that at a later time. So jump to page 3, this gigantic skills practice. Just one long list of polynomials to factor. We're going to skip the division parts, just the factoring, and go ahead and go on to the second page. Same deal, skip the dividing ones, but the word problems, totally fair game. All right, give those a shot. Okay. And you'll have the rest of the class period to work on that. Any questions there? No? All right, then I will leave you to it. And while you're working on that, I'm going to investigate that number 9, see what try to find out what the textbook was thinking there. Okay?